This was the worst day in League of Legends esports history. I did a short video a little while back about how Silver Scrapes became the unofficial anthem for League of Legends, and this best of 3 series is exactly why that happened. We're gonna watch a video today by a creator called Kudo. They make fantastic documentary style videos, and honestly, because I was in, I was there, I was not in this, but I was there watching from home, I thought you may enjoy living through one of the most diabolical situations of all time. 10 hours of delay. This was enough to watch multiple of the Twilight series on DVD. Man, all of these are 2 hours long. What the hell are they talking about? Regardless, let's get into things. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Also, you should check out Kudo. He makes fantastic videos. And if you want to suggest some other stuff that I check out, do it down below as well. Do it down below. Let me know. Oh, and also check out shopsycho.com, obviously. We've got some lovely stuff, such as this and this. Split swear, go shirts. Now, I should preface this by saying I went into this incredibly biased, and I also have some funny stories about some of the players on the team, or one of the teams. But CLG EU were my, I was a hardcore respecter of that. I've met Snoopy in real life. I really like Froggen. He was really cool as well. Wicked as well. I have met in real life. Really nice guy. So CLG EU, I was supporting them.
It was a series that never ended. Due to technical difficulties, it was never completed and forced an entire day of the World Championship to be postponed. Today, we look into the story behind one of Riot's worst technical malfunction in League of Legends esports history, as well as the impact it has left the scene ever since. This is the story of Counterlogic Gaming Europe versus World Elite. It was day 3 of the Season 2 World Championship. After a very successful day 1 and day 2 in the LA Live venue, the League of Legends community was more than ready to find out the two best.
I remember a time where everybody wore Teemo hats. Look how many Teemo hats there are in the crowd. That is illegal, man. I don't want to hear anything about what that. Right, listen, hold on a second. I forgot that was there. All right.
Day 1 and day 2 in the LA Live venue, the League of Legends community was more than ready to find out the two best teams in the world. With the crowd all hyped up, the day began with the quarterfinals bout between CLG EU versus World Elite.
I have a funny story. I was once scheduled to play Go for a Wall. So if you don't know what Go for a Wall is, it used to be on a website I think called gamebattles.com or gamebattles.co.uk. Go for a Wall was a weekly tournament that you could enter for free. The prize money was anywhere from 50 to a couple $100. They had lots and lots of tournaments running. It was really great, by the way. It was a really, I don't know if it still exists, but it was a lot of fun if you're playing with a bunch of friends that you play with normally. We did pretty well in a Go for All, and then and one of the rounds we ended up being paired up against World Elite. Now, we were very aware, this was before this game. This was 2012 or 2011, maybe even 2010, but we were supposed to play against them, and they didn't show up because obviously it's a Go for All. So technically, I'm just saying, we technically won a game against a team that has made Worlds many times, alright? Am I saying that I'm Worlds level? Yes.
Going into this series, CLG EU was famed for their ability to win games through late game dominance and patience. They heavily favored passive play in order to control the late game. This playstyle has helped them win almost impossible games from behind, as well as sometimes going beyond 1 hour in gameplay. So for World Elite, their key to winning this series was to get ahead in the early game. We jumped to game 1. At level 1, WE attempted to get ahead by invading the blue buff, which backfired.
They're going to get this one. It's going to delay CLG's blue. There's the blue. They do hooking through. Have they got the damage? And CLG are ready for this one. There's the rupture. It's going to hit straight across. Messiah goes down. Sucrepo first blood. The exhaust goes down up this strength as well.
It is insane how many flashes are popped so early. I feel like these days you'd be struggling to get anybody to really hard commit to a fight like that.
First blood for CLG.
Also, let's address the elephant in the room. The game looks terrible here. I'm just going to say it.
Went back and forth in the early game, WE was able to obtain control of the first team fights in the mid game.
And that was just, there's the initiate.
There's some absolutely weirdo freaky dives that happen in this in these games though. I still remember Snoopy's Cho'Gath, man. It was spicy. By today's standards, very bad. But back then, woo!
And for the remainder of the match, WE maintained control and won every teamfight onwards. WE took game 1 in a convincing fashion. Game 2 started with early aggressive plays from World Elite and dominance from ZZF's Blitzcrank.
Just pulls the out. Yeah, and there's a teleport they forced from Xiaomai. Oh, the hook comes in. They've caught Snoopy. He's getting dropped down in seconds. What a fantastic hook from FZZF.
From then on, it seemed World Elite established control and could end the game and move on to face Azubu Frost. But then this happened.
Even in the last game especially, 20% health, 30% health near the end of those, if they hadn't built the...
The internet in the venue went down. All players disconnected from the match and the livestream was stopped. After deliberation with Riot officials and the teams, as well as broadcast filler from the casting team, Game 2 of this best of 3 was going to be remade. World Elite elected to redo Champion Select and go into this game with a completely new draft. This, however, benefited CLG EU. In the second Game 2, ZZF's Blitzcrank was banned. CLG EU did not want to deal with Blitzcrank at all. At first, this ban did not change much as W was still able to get ahead in the early game thanks to more level 1 shenanigans.
He's trying to bait that one. He wanted to go.
Some early game like plays back in the day were absolutely insane. Like they genuinely look like your solo games today. Like Moscow 5 were like the worst for it, I think. Just like they would do like absolutely clown fiesta bot lane dives, mid lane. You could not stop them diving, bro. They were like a soccer player, man. They're like a professional football player, man. It was insane the amount of dives that they took.
Go for that aggression. You can see the laneways coming down. Clearlove's hit points being taken down. Jace managed to kill him. Messiah going straight in there. The pull trying to slow things down. They've hooked up towards Snoopy.
Like I'll be honest, man.
Snoopy, get away. They got
W Vlad level 1 pulling into the enemy team to get damaged. That just seems like so insane to me. It's crazy. I think that taking W level 1's not necessarily bad. Actually, against that team, yeah, it is. I don't know, man.
the ignite down on Snoopy, I believe. I think his hit points might drop. He's got the heal going. Crepo's going to get dropped. Wee Zhao picks up first blood. Froggen's going to get his source. They're going to try and turn things around. Wee Zhao's going to be the target. Wee Zhao's on nothing. They flash. They get him. Froggen's got a laneways down. Yellow Pete's also taken out very low as well. That's going to be Yellow Pete being dropped. Clearlock. Wicked turns around.
Absolute clown fiesta.
Xiaomai's got to try surely get a taunt across. And it was a 2-1 death-defying exchange for both teams. Everybody going back home. That's the start we wanted.
By the mid-game, World Elite was significantly ahead in kills and gold, but then CLG EU's legendary turtling abilities kicked in. Several mid-game skirmishes ended in the favor of CLG EU.
40 minutes, man.
They're going to peel. Froggen looks like he wants to catch it. He's caught the wall of pain. He's going to go for FCZ. FCZ's going to get dropped down. Clearlock, meanwhile, there's the Shadow ultimate. He comes in. Wee Zhao still off to the side, giving the damage. That's the hook from Snoopy. Clearlock goes down. Double kill again for Froggen. Now they can turn to Baron in safety and surely pick it up.
By 40 minutes in, CLG EU was in complete control and stalled out the game. At 54 minutes in, CLG EU caught out Clearlove and came from behind to claim victory.
Clearlove is going to get caught. He's going to have the shield. He's got a Guardian Angel. It is not going to matter. It's going to get popped back up in a moment, but he is going down from this one. There's no way. Even with a flash, the Zen ultimate is going to get dropped down. Zen ultimate now waiting. That's going to be an excellent point straight across. Messiah gets dropped.
Man, the damage back then as well was pretty crazy. It's a 54-minute game though.
The series came down to a Game 3. This time, the early game went in favor of CLG EU. WE once again failed to invade Snoopy's blue buff. In response, CLG EU invaded Clearlove's red buff and another early game engagement occurred.
He's just going to keep putting in the back the trouble there. Again, managed the Ruptron towards FCZ.
Oh, this was when people started doing like the Korean lane swap, man. I forgot about that, yeah.
For the remainder of the early and mid-game, CLG EU maintained the goal lead and had map control. However, by the 40-minute mark, the signature CLG EU late-game stall had developed, but this time on a totally new level. For the next half hour, CLG EU refused to either siege a lane or take Baron. They would start the Baron buff, but immediately back out once WE tried to make a move.
This was back when you had like 5 minutes of, no, you can't put a ward down, I'll see it, before sweeper and stuff. It's crazy.
CLG EU was waiting for a perfect opportunity to engage since their team strategy was heavy initiation and teamfight power. But WE did not want to commit to any fight and rather let CLG EU control the game and wait for them to make a mistake. This late game stall got to the point where the crowd became impatient. The crowd at LA Live began to react to everything that occurred in the game, especially when CLG EU made decisions that advanced the game.
Okay, are they going to initiate? Are they going to start the Baron?
There's some like
Crowd
crazy
wants to start
flashes
a
here
Baron. Have
as
they
well,
got
I
it in
think.
them to force the team fight? Can't just poke
Zhao's
off to the
back in
side.
base.
Snoopy
The
just
Baron
goes
is
like...
down to half hit point, and Wee Zhao is a long way
It's
away.
just like an
They
insane
fight
flash, man, when you really think about it. I know he's a
They
big
were in
lad.
4v5 situation. They
Just seems like a bit of a weight. It's just,
Baron
you know,
is
I mean, it is what it is. You're
reset yet. Now
forcing.
it's
You're
reset.
forcing pretty hard. I feel like...
And we're
I mean,
back.
even Malphite didn't flash, man. I don't know.
Continuing the damage on Baron. They've taken half health off. They're cleared up.
They're just so scared of Nocturnally.
They're going to go for it. They backed up and they picked up the Baron at last. The crowd goes wild. It's taken them a half hour to get that Baron. Now, what the hell are they going to do with it?
However, even when CLG EU had Baron, they were still playing passively and did not want to initiate a team fight. At 54 minutes in, and under the amusement of Jad and D-Man, the crowd began to cheer for ward kills.
There's a ward there, Wicked. You can see it. We know you can see it. In fact, they've got 2 oracles.
There's nothing wrong with cheering for ward kills, alright? If you don't want people to cheer for ward kills, like, have a more interesting game happening, okay?
Now,
I'm sorry.
Wicked and Crepo
I refuse
do
to
get the ward. People are cheering ward
denounce
kills
people
now.
for that.
It's starting to
Gotta
stretch
cheer
out that
anything
much.
that happens, man, because this game has been so much poking over and over. I think CLG is actually waiting for the next Baron. Another ward kill. The crowd goes wild.
By the 58th minute mark, the final engagement to determine the winner of this best-of-3 series occurred. A half hour of stalling finally culminated into the conclusion of this game.
Again and again.
Oh, and here they come.
Oh, Messiah's gonna get caught.
Bro, Rise just straight up waddles into their team, man. All part of the plan. He actually realm warped into the enemy team, but it didn't exist back then.
They are going to go for this fight. Lil again and actually beat.
But then the internet crashed, all the players were disconnected, and the stream went down.
I still remember the literal position I was in when this happened, right? Imagine in your mind that's a couch that's slightly different. It was it was one of the IKEA fold-out bed ones that was like $80 or something like that. Imagine, right? I'm lying like this. Boo!
59 minutes in this epic Game 3 culminated into absolutely nothing. CLG EU was at the cusp of making it to the semi-final but was denied by the venue's unstable internet. The stream eventually recovered to the sights of an exhausted broadcasting team and a worn-out but still hyped crowd at LA Live. Riot officials and each team were scrambling to figure out what was going on and how they should move forward with the competition. For the record, Day 2 ended at 6 PM Pacific Standard Time. The current time of the event after the failed Game 3 was 5:42 PM, and the event still had 2 semifinals best-of-3 series to play. It was going to be a long night for Riot and everyone attending the World Championship, so long as the internet held it together. Finally, the decision was made to remake the game with the same exact picks and bans. We now go into the second Game 3 of the series. First Blood went to WE as they ganked CLG EU's bot lane.
Meanwhile, at the top there, Crepo's going to get dived on. Crepo's going to be first blood, that's for sure. Who will pick up it up? He's managed to get the flash. It is going to be cleared up that picks up the first blood.
CLG EU responded with an amazing play from Snoopy's Cho'Gath jungle.
You can see they're going to dive onto it. Felix goes down. That's going to be Rice. Clearlove tanks it up enough, but I think Messiah should be able to get it. Oh my god! Snoopy flashes through and manages.
So this is a really weird story, but I feel like I'm never going to get it in my system if I don't see it now. I was once playing a solo queue game, and somebody was saying something, I can't remember what the hell that they were talking about. I think they were being like racist or something like that, and they were like, how the hell do you know how these systems work? How do you know that they pick up words like this, right? And I said, well, you know, I've been to Riot, I've spoken to Rioters, and I know that this is how they flag words. And I think all of us know now, but this was many years ago, granted. I think it was like 3-4 years ago, and they were like, you're lying, you've never been to Riot. So like I posted a picture, and let me remind you, this is so dangerous. I posted a picture in like a league chat, right? In like the post-game lobby, I was like, yeah, I've been to Riot, here's a picture. He went, that could be any wall. Had the Riot logo behind it, by the way. I had literally the Riot logo behind me. Could be any wall. And then he said, now you're gonna say that you've met Faker. And I went, I have. And then I posted a picture of me and Faker in the chat. And then he was like, oh, next you're gonna say that you met Snoopy. And I was like, yeah, I have. I got a picture with them. And then But those were the only like 2 pro players I'd ever actually met, and I was like, what are the chances this guy names the only pro players I have receipts for? He just left the chat. Never saw that man again. Insane.
You can see they're going to dive onto it. Felix goes down and banking it up. I do not believe he just pulled that off.
For the rest of the game, it turned into another passive stall. And when the audience soon figured out the pace of the game, the Ward Kill cheers came back.
Oh, FCZF's going to get it. Oh dear.
Who's got the Vuvuzela in there, man? Oh man, I'd go to Worlds if they had Vuvuzelas.
Standing ovation from a couple people in the crowd here.
Ovation for a ward kill. Would you believe it? FCZF getting caught out a little bit there. Another ward gets placed, ladies and gentlemen. They might go for this one. Oh, Yellow Pete picking up a ward. Good lord, am I really commentating that? Anyway.
By the 25-minute mark during a Ward Kill cheer, the internet crashed.
Bottom lane is going to be pretty much even, so the lanes at the moment are very much...
All the players were disconnected and the stream went down. At this point, every single individual at the venue looked exhausted. Jat, D-Man, DJ Weed, and Rachel worked an 8-hour shift, filling time during these technical malfunctions throughout the day. This was the same case for the 13 different international broadcasters at the venue too. These players were sitting in their seats for more than 8 hours, and some definitely felt the exhaustion and eye strain.
Dude, that's gotta be bro. I honestly have to commiserate here, because like, I know it might not sound like much for you or I to be sitting at a PC for 8 hours playing games. Okay, you know what, man? I thought I was going somewhere with this one, but like, you know what, man? It's probably fine. So
Riot staff were giving away merchandise to appease the crowd during the day. Remarkably, the crowd continued to remain in their seats throughout the whole ordeal. On the stream, viewers at home continually dealt with the failed stream or waited endlessly for information regarding the match. When the broadcasters were not live, viewers at home were subjected to a simple break screen and the song Silver Scrapes for hours upon end.
ba-da-da.
By the time another remake was supposed to start, Crepo's PC failed.
You may have noticed we were about to get underway, but now Crepo's PC's gone wrong. So they're replacing Crepo's PC. That hopefully is the third issue. We've had your mic, we've had the internet, now we've had the PC. Maybe that is it.
Later on, DJ Wee was taken away from the caster's desk to inform everyone that the event was going to end.
Unfortunately, I've got some bad news. Our techs in the back, they've been scrambling, obviously, for the last 30, 40 minutes, and even beyond that, trying to resolve the internet issues that we've been dealing with, the connectivity issues that you've been seeing over the course of the last couple hours. And we feel at this point that the internet is not stable, and we do not feel that it is fair to subject the players, you guys, the audience, to these ongoing connectivity issues.
For Riot Games, this was the worst case scenario to happen in any event, let alone what was at the time the most hyped esports competition ever. Despite the incredible production and hype atmosphere of the World Championship, the venue's infrastructure undermined the integrity of the game and forced this classic best-of-3 series into a non-conclusion due to connectivity issues. The World Playoff semi-final matches were postponed to October 10th, 3 days before the scheduled World Finals match.
I gotta say, I was bored out of my damn mind, because like this took place in LA, so it was kind of late for me, and I definitely could have just done something else. I feel bad for the people that are actually there in real life, because like, what are you supposed to do, right? Like, you paid money to be somewhere. If you paid tickets to like see Rihanna and she was like an hour or two late, you're not gonna be like, well, you know, I'm gonna go. You're gonna be like, she could be out here any minute. She could come out any second. You know that the second you leave, Rihanna's coming. Beyonce, Rihanna coming out on stage. But for me, I was bored out of my mind, man. It was like late at night. I'm bored as hell. I stayed up to watch this. I wanna watch it. You know, it's tough.
This time, they would move the games into the Galen Center, which was under construction at the time because it was supposed to host the Grand Finals. The games were going to be streamed live with the same production quality as the LA Live venue. Unfortunately, there would be no live audience for these matches. For CLG EU and World Elite, it was determined that only one match will decide this series. Day 3 of the Season 2 World Championship was an absolute disaster for Riot, but its legacy still lives on in the League of Legends community today. It gave birth to the phenomenon of ward kill cheering and competition. If a game's pace
Sorry, I need to check who actually won that match. CLG EU won that, yeah.
Perceived as too slow, the audience will begin reacting to ward kills. These cheers are still a subject of controversy today for its annoyance to the audience watching at home. For the record, the context of the ward...
Dude, screw them, right? If you pay, like, how much are Worlds tickets? They're, like, expensive, right? And that's assuming you didn't get scalped, bro. And plus, like, it's in NA this year, right? Like, arena prices for food and drink, man. You paying $14 for a beer? If I'm paying $14 for a beer, I will have nobody judge me for shouting at a damn ward that's getting killed. That being said, if I'm paying $14 for a beer, I've definitely snuck in like vodka in a suntan lotion bottle or something.
4 kill cheers in the CLG EU versus World's Elite Series made
Nobody's gonna suspect you're drinking alcohol if you're drinking out of a suntan lotion bottle. That's all I'm saying.
absolute sense and everyone found it hilarious. This context may not be found in normal League of Legends competitive games and therefore would be perceived as annoying. This day also brought Danny McCarthy's silver scrapes into notoriety.
I'm sorry, but I once again, I have to say, you know what, man? If it pressures the players into doing something, then so be it. Listen, I'm never going to judge somebody for cheering a damn war kill. It just doesn't make any damn sense to me. I'm sorry.
Perceived as annoying. This day also brought Danny McCarthy's silver scrapes into notoriety. Because of the long breaks, viewers at home were subjected to this song hours upon end. The community eventually elevated this song's popularity and considered it the anthem of the League of Legends professional scene. Today, Riot has acknowledged the popularity of Silver Scripts by playing it every Game 5 in a Best of 5 series. Lastly, a significant amount of credit and acknowledgement must be given to the broadcasting team during Day 3. The team of D-Man, Jat, Rachel, and DJ Wheat stood in their shifts for more than 8 hours doing their absolute best to entertain a fed-up live and online audience. They did a commendable job keeping the audience up to date on what's going on as well as having entertaining banter throughout the long pauses. While D-Man, Jat, and DJ Wheat manned the caster's desk talking about the game, esports history, and Jat's professional career, Rachel went to the audience to read signs, acknowledge audience members, and poll the crowd about the remake. Should they keep the same picks and bans or do a whole different draft? Nonetheless, the broadcast team deserved much credit for keeping the stream and audience entertained during these unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, this Worlds, there was like an hour and a 45-minute delay on a game, and I was bored out of my skull. It was like the first game that I'd watched of Worlds this year. I think it was one of the first games, actually. I can't remember who was playing. ISG and somebody. But yeah, man, it's tough, bro. See, when you're delaying for somebody to do something, like you're waiting for something to happen. I've had times, and this is not even remotely relatable, but like when I used to play shows and play metal shows, you know, if like one of my guitarists had to like tune their guitar or something, you can't just, I mean, you could just stand there and do nothing, but you know, you kind of, that's when you bring out the, how are we all doing tonight? Let's give it up for the last band. Let's give it up for the next band. Let's give it up for our band. Hey! They're tuning or whatever, or if there's like a technical mess up, I mean, I don't know if anybody's been in bands or what have you that's watching, but sometimes amps will just be like, I can't do this anymore. Sometimes like a chord or a string or like a lead, like an aux chord or a guitar lead will just be like, I'm sorry, I can't. I'd go on without me. And you just gotta vamp for like 3 minutes. 8 hours? 8 hours of vamping? You gotta be kidding me, man.
My name is Kudo. This short story about CLG EU versus World Elite is a part of my detailed video series on the Season 2 World Championship. Links to Part 1 and Part 2 will be in the comments below. The next video will be about the conclusion of the Season 2 World Championship. Thank you for watching a piece of League of Legends history. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more content on the history of the esports industry.
Alright, everybody, follow along with me at home. We subscribe. Kudo. Fantastic video, man. 21,000 subscribers. That's illegal, man. That was a fantastic video. And maybe it's because I was watching from home that I like have some kind of attachment to it, but a 10-hour long best of 3. Oh my god, it was horrible. It was so brutal to watch, probably more brutal to be there, even more brutal to be part of the production team or the players themselves. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this, then you know, show me some other stuff. Let's watch some other stuff. I'm very much enjoying watching stuff for yourselves. Also, this is a part of League of Legends history. I feel like I really enjoy going over old. Listen, I know I'm old, 29. I enjoy watching old stuff from the past. But regardless, check out the shop, psycho.com store. Lovely clothing stuff. If you want to support the channel, support me. I don't like taking donations. I'd much prefer that we give you something tangible that you can wear that looks sick. So if you ever consider subscribing on Twitch for like money, buy a thing and we can give you the thing. As well as that, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and what's the last thing? Oh yeah, have a wonderful day. Take care.